Welcome to Spiritual Mythbusters. I'm Natty T, and today we're going to be busting the myth, is gratitude the key to abundance? If you'd like more spiritual myth-busting videos, make sure that you hit the subscribe and the bell. Make sure that you stick around till the end to hear the full myth-busting conclusion. If you would like a myth busted, go on ahead and write it in the comments. So today's myth is gratitude really the key to abundance? Now there is a very common spiritual viewpoint that goes something like gratitude equals abundance. I fell into this, what I call the gratitude trap, in the beginning of my spiritual journey, looking for abundance. It was everywhere. People kept saying, you have to be grateful. Gratitude is the way to find abundance. However, there's a little trick to this that could be holding you back. And I want to expose it here today. See, gratitude in its purest form isn't the highest vibration frequency that we could be emitting when we are looking at grooming our point of attraction. It is on the positive spectrum, don't get me wrong. It's not that it's a bad feeling. It's just that maybe we shouldn't stop when we get to gratitude. But why? Why am I saying that? Natty T, you're making no sense. You're crazy. Well, we all know that's true. But what I'm talking about here is that, first of all, gratitude isn't always gratitude. I mean, we call it gratitude, but sometimes gratitude's actually disappointment. You think about it. When you were a kid, did your parents ever do this? They put a lovely meal in front of you. You're a kid, so you just look at all these veggies and stuff and go, ugh. And you say to your mum, I want McDonald's. Your mother says something along the lines of, eat what you're given. You should be grateful that you've got food on the table because there are starving children in Africa who have no food to eat. That doesn't feel like a positive emotion, does it? And it's a trap that we fall into and we keep later on in our lives, because what happens is we start to equate the feeling of gratitude, which is supposed to be thankfulness, with disappointment. Every time we feel disappointed, we tell ourselves to be grateful, but we don't actually feel grateful. We feel disappointed. We feel disappointed we didn't get McDonald's. And we eat our food, our veggies, begrudgingly, going, oh, I wish this was McDonald's. I don't have McDonald's. Yeah, I've got food. I'm not starving, but it's not McDonald's. That's the feeling. Oh, be grateful you've got a roof over your head. Be grateful you've got food in your stomach. Be grateful you have clothes on your back. But it is inevitable in your evolution of your life to continue to desire things to get better. Your preferences are going to keep coming no matter what. So if every time you are saying you're grateful, you say, oh, my car is such a piece of junk. No, wait, I should be grateful that I have a car. You're not fostering gratitude. You're actually fostering your disappointment that your car isn't the way you want it to be. But telling yourself you should feel good when you don't, which makes you feel worse. So when gratitude really is a positive emotion, it's the emotion of thankfulness. And whilst it is a positive emotion, it's not at the top of the emotional scale. It's somewhere above the middle, but it's not the top. The most abundance is going to flow to you when you're in those high vibe states, really high vibe. That's full connection with self. That's when you're really going to get a really good ease of flow. In other words, you'll get some flow with gratitude, with thankfulness, and it will keep coming, but it can get better. And here's why it is sometimes just pinching off a little bit of your abundance. when you think of thankfulness, I am grateful. I am thankful for this food. And you really do mean it. You're thankful. However, to become grateful, you have to compare it to something less than what you have. Now, if you look at it like this, you are where you are, and you want to be somewhere further along. That's always going to be. You're always going to want to move forward, but now you have to look back so that you can see the distance between where you don't want to be and where you are, so that you can feel thankful about where you are. Now, if your focus is pretty much just building your tomorrow, you've just focused backwards so you can feel good about now. Does it make any sense to you? Is it starting to reveal itself to you? You're looking backwards at something worse than where you are so that you can feel good about where you are, whilst creating what was before, which was not what you liked. So we go up and down and up and down and up and down. There is still this element, there is this good feeling that still gets you creating good stuff, but there's also this contradictive focus that goes back and says, oh, but the starving children in Africa. Oh, but there was a time when I didn't have a car. And focusing on those things is not taking you forward. It's taking you backwards. That's not where you want to go. You don't want to go back to when you didn't have a car. You don't want to become a starving child in Africa. You don't want to end up homeless and with no food. That's not what you want. What you want is in the other direction. Yet you're making yourself look at what is less than what you have so you can feel good about what you have. So what do you do about it? How do you feel good about what you have now, even though it's not where you want to be tomorrow? Well, how you do that is with a little something I like to call appreciation. But we'll get to that in a minute, because there's something else a little bit off about the vibration of gratitude and the vibration of ease and flow and abundance. There's something else that's off. And that thing is, when you think of being thankful, you tend to think about being thankful to someone or something else. That takes you out of your power. That takes you somewhere that you don't want to be, because chances are, if you're listening to this, if you're here listening to me gab on, then you obviously really, really want to be in control of your life. This crazy woman has some ideas on how I can get in control of my own life. I'll listen to her flail on with her weirdness. I'll listen to that just for the information that could put me back in the controlling seat, the driver's seat of my life. I will do that. I'll do that. However, every time you say, oh, thank you universe, thank you God, thank you life, thank you source, thank you, you're taking your ability to create out of the equation. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't appreciate all of these things, but just know, none of that you're thankful for could have gotten to you without you. You allowed it. You created it. You allowed it. You lined up with it. And there are lots of things to appreciate about that. The law of attraction for bringing it to you. Source for creating, for bringing it into being, to showing you how to get there. There's a lot of places you can place your appreciation in this process, but don't put the power on someone else. Oh, God allowed me to have this. No, you allowed you to have this. In all honesty, the universe creates it whether you want it to or not. You emanated the desire. It creates the vibrational version of it. It's there for you to line up with, whether you do or you don't. The fact that you got there was because you lined up with it. Give yourself a little more of the credit and say something more along the lines of, I appreciate this and this and this and this outside thing. But I am so appreciative of myself and so proud of myself and so happy that I found my way here. Well done. Pat on the back. That was more of a head jerky pat on the back. But you get what I'm saying. Pat yourself on the back. You will feel better about yourself when you know that you got into harmony with all of these things. Doesn't matter what you want to call it, whether you want to call it God, universe, source, self, whatever you're calling it, whatever you want to call it, that is you harmonizing with all of that stuff. That stuff does its thing. You know, the universe does its thing. It's been doing it for billions of years. It's not going to stop now. And it was creating planets and black holes and entire star systems and supernovas, things that we couldn't even attempt to make. And it was doing those things for billions of years. So if it lines up some cool stuff for us, it's basically just our job to get there, to line up with it. Give yourself the credit. That's what I'm trying to get at. Give yourself some credit, because when you do, you'll start to feel better about here, and you will come together and you will feel that flow of whatever energy you want to call it. I like to call it source energy, just flowing through you, and you're now at one with who you really, really want to be, how you want to be, where you want to be, what you want to be. Done. So we touched a little bit on appreciation. So why is appreciation better than gratitude? Well, first of all, if you really examine it, it feels better. There's less resistance in it. There's less looking back at things that you don't like just so that you can feel good about things that you don't feel good about. Appreciation is just looking at something that you like in something you've got and fixating on it and just appreciating it, feeling good about something. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's small or if it's large. One of the things that I like to appreciate when I'm getting into the mode of appreciation, when I'm getting into that vibe of appreciation, I like to look at clouds and trees. You know why? Where I live in Australia, there's lots of trees and clouds are puffy and pretty. But does that really help? Birds. You can appreciate birds. I don't know if you can hear them, but they just flew past. You can appreciate these things. Does that help you get what you want? Of course it does, because as you start emanating appreciation, guess what the universe starts giving you back? Guess what the law of attraction starts giving you? Things to appreciate. Bingo! Now that won't be just more birds and more clouds and more trees. It will be other things too. Other things that make you feel appreciation. And the more you do it, the more things it will send you to appreciate. Yeah, let's do a dance, appreciation dance. I have various dances. You'll get to understand that. So by this stage, you're probably thinking, you know what, Nat, I think you're just nitpicking a little bit. You know, I'm headed to gratitude. I'm headed to here, and I feel pretty good about feeling my gratitude. I'm not picking on you if you're feeling gratitude. Not at all. I'm just saying that keep going. Just as much as you got here and it feels good, you can keep going. I actually like the thought that there is no end to how good I can feel. That even when I'm feeling awesome, I can feel even more awesome, because that'd be boring. Yay, I got to awesome. Yeah, awesome. This awesome gets boring. I need some new awesome. If you're not quite there yet, well, make it to gratitude. Don't think that just because I made this video, you should stop feeling gratitude. No, that's not what I mean. I just mean that if you haven't found gratitude yet, you might want to move up the scale and find gratitude. That's valid, because gratitude will feel better than pessimism or anger or depression or boredom or even optimism, which is still a pretty good feeling. The point is, there is more to go. Okay, as promised, the conclusion of today's myth-busting episode is myth busted. Gratitude is useful, but it's not equivalent vibrationally to absolute abundance. It can bring you a little. I think the point here really is, it doesn't matter how good you feel, you can feel better, and you should always be looking for better feelings. I hope this information has been helpful to you. If it has, smash that like button. If you'd like more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, I've included a couple of videos over here from my channel if you'd like to check those out. If you've got experiences on this subject, make sure that you share them with us in the comments. We'd love to hear about them. Until next time, keep creating deliberately.